Hey, this is Rock Leach with Social Fire. And in this video, I don't know who this lady is, but she went off talking about how the church musicians are getting paid. And the real problem is the church is getting played. Oh, you don't want to miss this video.
Now click that like button and that bell notification so you'll be notified every time we put out a new video while you prepare yourself for this video clip. And I'll come back with some commentary. Let's go.
Now, let me start this video out by saying I have no problem with musicians being compensated. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem, though, when you have a gift and you have horrible character, stank attitude, your trash attitude. Nobody can tell you anything. You're rolling your eyes while you're in service on stage or what the pastor or any other leadership is telling you to do. And that goes for musicians and singers. Let me say it again. I don't mind. This is not about saying that I don't think that you should get paid, but when you are doing things, and you know what? Let me just go ahead and play this video because this lady put it all out there. I'm gonna let her explain it. Then I'm gonna come back with some commentary. Let's go.
Many of you know I came from Sweet Holy Spirit. I was there for over 30 years, and I led worship, and I never got paid. No, I loved it. I loved what I was doing, but we didn't get paid. When I joined the administration, became bishop, secretary, and all that, then we got paid, of course, compensated for that. But I don't have a problem with anybody getting paid if you're skilled and you're timely and you're doing your job and all that. I don't have a problem with payment. But what I have a problem with is you're getting paid and you're not connected to the vision. This is where we're having an issue. Because when the paycheck overrides your spiritual connection to the house and the vision, get off my organ.
Come on.
Get off my keyboard. Get off my mic. I don't care what you're getting paid. And so that discernment has to come from the bishop. And then anybody who is over the band and over the praise team, that also has to be your discernment. When you become disconnected from the house, you don't get this money. You got to stay connected to the vision. I don't want you on the keyboard and on the mic if you don't understand that this is a prophetic house and you're connected, you're not in prayer. You got to stay connected. And I'm unsure by. And we're moving into a season. We're moving into a season where the leadership will begin to feel the disconnection. And it ain't going to be about money. It's going to be about where you at in the spirit realm. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody can get paid. But the moment we discern in the spirit that you are no longer here with us in the presence of God, and present here, like connected, we looking over and you rolling your eyes. You on the praise team and you rolling your eyes. Put these mics down. Take the check out the system. And we're going to labor until the new breed comes who is ready to stay connected to the vision.
Hallelujah. Well,
She made several wonderful points in this video. I don't even know who this lady is. If you know who she is, please drop a name down in the comments. Oh, wow. She did a great job of explaining this. Being connected to the vision of the house. That is important. But many times, because churches have been in such a need for musicians, they've been willing to compromise because let's be real, there's a rat race many times that goes on in church, and many churches are trying to outdo each other. And when trying to outdo each other, they're willing to compromise to be the top church. And that means hiring musicians that don't care nothing about your vision. They just care about that check, and they're only as consistent and connected as their check is consistent. And that's the problem. But it's a problem that's not just happening in one church or two churches. It's a lot of problems out there with this particular thing. She said being skillful and timely and doing your job. That is great. I know several musicians. And just to give you all a little background on why I'm so passionate about this, I grew up in the church as a church musician. I started on the drums and then I went to the organ. and I've played for several years, all my life, and I still currently play to this day. Now, with that said, I've also pastored most of the musicians who've been a part of my church. I've been blessed because I know music well enough to where I can go over there and train them as well, and also call out when it's not correct, just by listening, because I'm still a musician. So I did pay all of our musicians, I did pay them. And I believe in it, but more than pay, I believe in a good character. Now, I want to say this. What do you do when the musician is really, really good, has a great gift, but he has a terrible character? I would rather have a musician who wasn't quite where he wanted to be, but he had a great character. See, it's easy to train somebody up like that when they're not arrogant. The problem with all of these musicians, many times when they're really, really good, they specialize in being on top of the auction block. They're so used to people wanting to get them, Doc, I'm gonna go and pay you. They don't treat you right over there, Doc. And I blame leadership for this. I blame church leadership for this. When we make them feel like they're the number one draft pick, and really all you're doing is giving your church cancer by getting these people in your church singers with attitudes, rolling their eyes, don't like this person. And then they get cliquish and all of that. And most of them won't even stay in church to hear the word. They're going to leave out for the word. Y'all, they need to be connected to the vision. And I like what she said. Many times they have a great gift, but they have terrible character. And there's not just one church, there's several churches. And some of y'all right now, you're pastoring a church or a leader of the church, and the musician is out of line, out of control, and your singer's out of control. You need to do something about it. I know it's just not one church. This is a problem that happens in a lot of churches. And she talks about that, when your paycheck overrides your connection to the household of faith. Wow. This is a problem. This is a problem inside of many bodies of Christ because leadership have allowed it. We're so in a hurry to get good bands to play the slamming music, slamming music sound good, everybody popping, young people jumping, and relationship with God has not become our priority. We've allowed that to sit on the back while we compromise to get people in the doors. And I just refuse to believe that you have to do that. Relationship and connection to the church needs to be important. But while we're looking at this, she talked about discernment and talking about those who are in leadership being able to discern, because some people come in with good intentions and along the way they turn into celebrities on you. I remember a church there in Dallas, a very popular church. When I say it's popular church, this was actually a large church, and it was more of a white church. They had a mixed congregation, but the majority of their church was white. But the pastor made the news because he had all of his musicians that when they got through singing and stuff like that, he saw them in the hallway, the annex, signing autographs. And he, at that moment, knew he had a problem. And the way that he corrected it was he fired everybody. He had everybody to go because he knew that it was a problem. Yeah, and yes, that is a problem. But many of us have musicians at our churches. They're not signing autographs yet, but they are walking around like celebrities, and that is demonic. You have a lot of things that are going on there. These people get arrogant. They want to talk to you any kind of way. Why? Because they know they can go somewhere else and find a job instead of finding a place that will grow them, help them develop as Christians. The problem that I see more than anything is that when we will make the check more important than a spiritual inheritance. Oh, I hope y'all got that there. It's very important when we are training these musicians that one, we make sure that they are a part of our church, not just being there when it's their job, but being at Bible study for that Christian development, learning how to use your gift and how to be in sync with God and your leader, so that you can. Let me reword that, being in sync with God so you know how to flow in worship. There are so many things that I can say, and I want to say why, because I've been a musician. I'm a leader and I understand the importance of this, but we have to understand that moving in seasons where she said that we were going to be moving into seasons where leadership was going to feel the disconnection. I'm going to go even further and say they're already feeling the disconnection. Many of you clicking on this video, you know somebody that's feeling that disconnection, and we have a problem. YouTube have allowed musicians to get really good really fast, and I wish that they would take that much attention to the word of God. Now, I do want to back up with this. in my generation, when I came up, in order for you to learn, you had to sit up under somebody. Usually you couldn't play at that church until you sat up under somebody to be able to learn how to do it. Now you can get on YouTube, and most of the popular church musicians, or most churches, they show their band, and then there's so many how-to videos. Now I'm not knocking it for that. I'm just knocking it because the maturation process where you sat up under somebody is no longer as strong as it used to be. Now you have a lot of renegades who are coming out here and doing what they think it should be, and you've got so many ministries willing to compromise to get them. But I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this? Because this is something that goes on. I love what she said. Sitting on the stage, rolling your eyes and all that old kind of stuff. We see this, like we see you up there rolling your eyes. They choose a song praise team looking at each other because they got clicks going on, and they rolling their eyes and stuff like that. The musician, the pastor, tell the musicians he want them to play this certain song, and they rolling their eyes, then talking in the mic in the inner ear monitor system, talking about, go on and do it, y'all. We gonna be out in just a minute. You got clicks going on, and this is how the enemy does it. In Second Timothy, they talk about it being the spirit of deception and doctrines of devil, and it's designed to move you away from the faith. But what happens when the musician is good, but he's not saved? What happens when the musician is really in the closet, and we are compromising and allowing this kind of thing to go on? Oh, we wasn't ready for this video today. But I want you to jump down in the comment section. Let's be real about this, because I got several more that we're gonna make on this, because I used to be a musician, but I think that the integrity of being a musician is gone. There are musicians. Let me say this. I do want to say this. There are musicians out there who believe in their relationship with God and believe in Christian development, and who want to be at a church where they can grow spiritually. Now they do exist. However, we have an epidemic of foolishness going on with musicians that feel like their gift is greater than God. I want to know what you think about this. Jump in the comment section and let's talk about this. Let's go.